Ah, my dear friends, the misfits, the outcasts, the ones who have been to hell and clawed their way back today. I'm not here to entertain you. I'm here to awaken something within you, something they tried to bury. But oh, didn't they realize you can't bury fire? It just waits smoldering beneath the surface until it explodes into a blaze of fury. And when that fire is ignited, it consumes everything in its path, everything they tried to break inside you. It only fuels your rage. It only sharpens your resolve. Every scar you bear, every wound they inflicted upon you is not a mark of your weakness, but a testament to your unyielding strength. A reminder that you survived where others crumbled. You endured when the world sought to erase you. You are not the broken pieces they thought would shatter and disappear. You are the unbreakable force that will rise from the ashes of their failure. They came for you, didn't they? The dark sorcerers, the ones who wove their spells of fear and despair with every incantation. They whispered your name with malice in their eyes and venom on their tongues. They wanted to see you kneel. They wanted to see you broken, crawling in the dirt. But instead they watched as you stood taller, with every blow they struck against you, with every spell they cast to enslave your spirit. You stood taller than they ever could comprehend, because deep within you burns a truth so fierce that no dark magic, no matter how vile, could ever snuff it out. You are a force of nature and an unstoppable tide that cannot be held back by chains or curses, no matter how dark or twisted their power may be. Do you remember the darkness? Do you remember the feeling of their eyes upon you? Do you remember how it felt when the very air around you thickened with dread and hatred, when their whispers sank into your mind, trying to poison your thoughts, twisting your perception of reality, trying to make you believe that you were nothing, that you were less than human, that you were weak, that you were broken? But you stood firm, didn't you? In the face of their malevolent forces, in the face of their relentless pursuit to tear you apart. You never gave in. You never buckled under the weight of their cruelty, because you knew something they couldn't fathom. You knew that their power was fleeting and that yours was eternal. When they thought you would beg for mercy, when they thought you would tremble at the thought of their power, when they thought they had you cornered, you showed them the one thing they feared most. You showed them your resilience, your refusal to bend and break. You turned their darkest magic against them. You wielded their hate and twisted it into your own strength. And while they thought they were burning you to ash, you were gathering the flames and shaping them into your weapon. Their attempts to destroy you only forged you into something more dangerous, more formidable than they ever could have imagined. They thought they were killing you, but in truth, they were creating the very legend that would haunt their nightmares for centuries to come. Do you feel it now? The strength that courses through your veins, the power that lies dormant in every fiber of your being. It is the power of survival, the power of defiance. It is the power of a soul that has been broken 1,000 times and yet refuses to stay down. It is the power that has been forged in the crucible of suffering and pain, the power that has been tempered in the fires of their wrath and emerges from those flames stronger than ever. They tried to erase you. They tried to cast you into oblivion. But here you are standing taller than ever, standing with the legacy of those who came before you, the legacy of the survivors, the ones who were never meant to endure, yet still did. They couldn't destroy you. They couldn't extinguish you. And they never will. Because you are more than their petty magic, more than their twisted wills. You are a force that cannot be tamed or controlled. You are the storm that will never be quieted. When they came for you, they believed they were gods. They believed that their power was absolute, that nothing could stand in their way. But they were wrong, because you are the proof that no force is truly invincible, no curse is unbreakable, no dark sorcery can withstand the might of the human spirit when it refuses to yield, when it refuses to die, when it refuses to surrender. You are living proof that no matter how deep the darkness runs, no matter how high the stakes may be, no matter how impossible the odds may seem, there is always a way to fight back, always a way to overcome the forces that seek to destroy you. And while they believed they had crushed you, while they believed they had snuffed out the light that burned within you, they were only giving you the fuel you needed to rise again, stronger than before. Every moment they spent trying to break you was a moment they wasted every spell they cast to cripple. You was a gift they unknowingly gave you, because with every attempt to tear you down, you only grew more powerful, you only grew more determined, you only grew more unrelenting in your pursuit of victory. You became the thing they feared most. You became the embodiment of everything they despised, because you refused to be their pawn. You refused to be their victim. You refused to be their slave. And in doing so, you became something far greater than they could ever comprehend. You became a legend. So when they ask how you survived, when they ask how you managed to claw your way from the depths of their darkness, when they question how you stood against the storm and emerged unscathed, you look them in the eye and you tell them this: you survived because you are unbreakable. You survived because your will is stronger than their magic. Your spirit is stronger than their curses, and your heart burns brighter than the darkest of their spells. You survived because you were never meant to die. You were never meant to bow to their tyranny. You were never meant to be a mere footnote in their twisted tales. You survived because you are a force of nature, and they were just the storm that tried to drown you. They wanted to see you fall. They wanted to see you broken. They wanted to see you crushed beneath the weight of their power, but they failed. They failed because they underestimated you. They failed because they couldn't fathom the depth of your strength. They failed because they couldn't see the fire burning in your soul. They failed because they couldn't see the legend that you were destined to become. They could only see their own arrogance, their own belief that they were untouchable, that they were above all else. But the truth is that the only thing they were above was their own downfall, and that downfall came the moment they thought they could crush you, the moment they thought they could break you, the moment they thought they could erase you from existence. And now here, you stand unbroken, untamed, and unstoppable. You are no longer the victim. You are no longer the one on the receiving end of their wrath. You are the one who stands tall as a beacon of defiance, a testament to the power of survival. You are the one who walks this world with the weight of legends on your shoulders and the strength of 1,000 warriors in your heart. You are the one who faced the darkness and emerged victorious. You are the one who survived the storm and stands ready to face whatever comes next, because you know deep down that there is nothing that can stop you, nothing that can break you, nothing that can take away the fire that burns inside you, nothing that can ever extinguish the legend you have become. So let them come. Let them try to destroy you. Let them try to tear you down. Let them bring all their darkness and all their power. Because you know, now that you are stronger than anything they can throw at you. You know, now that you are more than their magic, more than their curses, more than their hate. You are the embodiment of everything they fear and everything they could never understand. You are the legend that will haunt their dreams and destroy their hopes, because you survived when they thought they had already won. You survived, and that survival is your greatest weapon, your greatest triumph, and your greatest gift, because no matter what they do, no matter how hard they try, you are the living proof that no dark sorcerer can ever truly destroy you. The sorcerers with all their dark arts and their twisted minds, believed they could break you. They thought they could shatter your spirit with their vile words, their corrupt magic, and their endless machinations. But in their arrogance, in their relentless pursuit of power, they missed something vital, something they could never have known. They failed to recognize that you are not like them. You are not a being bound by the same constraints they are. You do not bend to the whims of fate or to the tyranny of the powerful. No, you stand against it all, unfaltering, unwavering, relentless. They thought their spells would have you on your knees, begging for mercy. They thought their curses would seep into your soul, twisting it beyond recognition, making you a hollow vessel of pain and despair. But what they failed to comprehend is that pain, despair, suffering, they are not your chains. They are your forge. Every time they tried to break you, they only built you into something stronger, something more invincible. They didn't just make you suffer. They gave you the tools to become who you are now. A force that is unstoppable, untouchable, unrelenting. Do you remember the first time you faced their magic? Do you remember the weight of their words, the venom in their voices, as they cast their incantations upon you, each one designed to tear you apart? How many times did they think they had you beaten, broken, crushed under their will? How many times did they sneer, thinking that they could erase you from existence, only to watch as you rose again, stronger than before? With every spell they cast, with every shadow they sent to engulf you, you became more than they ever could have imagined. You didn't just survive, you thrived. And that, my friends, is the greatest truth they could never understand. The darkness they wielded against you, it was never their weapon, it was yours. They thought they were using their magic to bury you, to silence you, to burn you out. What they didn't realize is that every spell they cast, every force they unleashed upon you, only added to your power. It only made you more lethal. It only made you more determined. Their darkness only fed your fire, and the flames that burned within you could never be extinguished. While they thought they were pushing you into the abyss, they were only feeding the very strength that would bring about their undoing. They thought you would break beneath their weight, that you would crumble under the onslaught of their evil. But all they did was build the legend of your survival. Every scar you carry, every battle you fought, every dark force they threw at you, it all became part of the story that they could never erase. They didn't know it then, but they do now. The greatest mistake they made was underestimating the power within you. They thought they were the masters, the ones who controlled the forces of life and death. But you are the force they could never control. You are the chaos they could never tame. You are the storm they never saw coming. What they did not know and could never understand is that their power is fleeting. Their magic, though dark and dangerous, is not eternal. It is bound by limits, by rules, by the very nature of its corruption. But you are beyond such limits. You are the product of defiance, of endurance, of willpower that transcends the mortal and the supernatural alike. You are not bound by the laws that govern their magic. You are bound by nothing at all. You are a being born of fire, and fire cannot be extinguished. Every time they thought they had you trapped, every time they thought their spells would bind you forever, you found a way to break free, and each time you broke free, you grew stronger. Each time you survived their attacks, you learned more. They thought they were eradicating you, but what they were truly doing was creating a being far greater than they could ever be. They forged you, made you what you are today, a force so powerful, so unyielding, that no sorcerer could ever hope to stand against you. And yet, despite their failures, despite their inability to destroy you, they continue to lurk in the shadows, trying to find ways to break you. But the thing they will never understand is this: they are the ones who are doomed. Their power, their magic, their very existence is built on a lie. It is built on the false belief that they are invincible, that they can control life and death with a wave of their hand. But they are not gods. They are nothing more than fragile mortals, grasping at power they can never truly understand. And their time will come, just as the time of all who seek to dominate others inevitably comes. For the universe has a way of balancing the scales, and when the balance tips, it will be them who face their destruction, not you. You, my friends, are the storm. You are the legend, and they are nothing but ants scrambling beneath your feet. Do you feel it deep inside? The power that courses through your veins, the fire that burns within you, hotter and brighter than anything they could ever summon. That power is the essence of who you are. It is the embodiment of everything they sought to destroy, everything they tried to erase. It is the truth that they tried to bury beneath their curses, beneath their dark magic, beneath their lies. But no matter how deep they dug, no matter how much darkness they tried to pile on top of you, you rose above it all. You burned brighter than they could ever imagine. What they didn't understand is that every time they tried to push you into the darkness, you were simply gathering strength. Every time they tried to weaken you, you were simply sharpening your claws. Every time they thought they were making you weak, you were becoming something they could never comprehend, something greater than they could ever be. You were becoming the legend that would haunt their nightmares for eternity. Now, they come to you with fear in their eyes, trembling at the mere thought of facing you. They have seen what you are capable of. They have witnessed your strength, your resilience, your unyielding will to survive. They know now that they cannot break you. They know now that they cannot destroy you. And so they cower in the darkness, hiding from the very thing they created. They created a monster, yes, but not a monster of their own making. No, my friends, they created a force of nature, a being who is beyond their understanding. And that is your power. That is your triumph. They cannot fathom it. They cannot comprehend it. They tried to break you, to bend you to their will, but they failed. And now they are left with nothing but the knowledge that they are no match for you. In the end, they will be nothing but a footnote in your story. They will be nothing but a brief flicker in the grand tapestry of your legend. And you will stand tall, a living testament to the strength that lies within you. You will be the one who conquered the darkness, who survived the storm, who defied all odds and emerged victorious. And when they are gone, when their power is nothing but dust, you will remain. You will be the legend that lives on, the one who survived when others fell, the one who stood against the tide and never wavered. You will be the one they could never destroy, the one they could never defeat. You will be the one who burned so brightly that even the darkest of sorcery could not extinguish your light. So remember this, my friends, when you face the darkness again. You are the storm. You are the fire. You are the legend they could never destroy. And no matter what they do, no matter how hard they try, they will never, ever break you. Not because they didn't try. No, they tried with everything in their dark hearts. They thought that if they pushed you far enough into the shadows, if they overwhelmed you with their cursed power, they could bury you forever. But what they failed to realize, what they could never understand, is that darkness does not have the power to defeat what was born from it. You were forged in the abyss, molded in the fire and tempered by suffering. You have walked the path they tried to force upon you, and instead of bending to it, you became it. You became something greater. Each and every one of their curses, every cruel spell they cast against you, only gave you the strength to rise higher. They thought they could drown you in their chaos, but they were blind to the truth. You are the chaos. You are the unrelenting force that will not be bound. They fed you their hatred, and it only made you stronger. Every vile word they spoke, every strike they delivered, only served to sharpen your spirit. They tried to break you, but in reality they were carving out the shape of the legend you are destined to become. Do you remember when they thought they had you cornered? When they thought they had finally worn you down? When the shadows seemed to close in and the weight of their malice pressed against your very soul? It was then that you stood taller than ever. It was then that your power revealed itself in ways they could never have imagined. They sought to bend you, to crush you beneath the weight of their evil, but all they did was turn you into something they could no longer control. You became an unstoppable force, a living testament to the fact that nothing, not even the darkest of sorcery, can break a spirit as unyielding as yours. They underestimated you at every turn. They saw you as prey to be hunted, a pawn in their twisted game of power. But in truth, you were the hunter. You were the one who lurked in the shadows, biding your time, waiting for the moment when you would strike. They were blinded by their arrogance, consumed by their own sense of superiority. They thought that because they wielded the darkest magic, they held dominion over everything. They thought that because they could twist the world around them with their incantations, they could break anyone who dared stand in their way. But they didn't know you. They didn't know that you were born to stand against all of it. They believed their magic was the end-all, be-all. They thought that their dark arts were all-powerful, that nothing could withstand the weight of their control. And yet, they failed. They underestimated the power within you, the fire that burned within your chest, the spirit that could not be crushed, no matter how fiercely they tried. They tried to make you bend to their will, tried to make you forget who you were. But you refused. You never gave in, never yielded to their dark desires. And in doing so, you became something they could never have imagined. You became a force that transcended their magic. You became the embodiment of defiance itself. With every blow they struck, every spell they cast, they only fed the fire within you. They thought they were burning you alive, but they were merely stoking the flames. They believed they were extinguishing your light, but instead, they were feeding it. You took everything they threw at you, every curse, every illusion, every malicious word, and you used it as fuel to burn brighter. The more they tried to destroy you, the more you became what they could never understand. The more you became the very thing they feared. They thought they could isolate you. They thought they could break you through silence, through loneliness, through fear. But what they didn't realize is that you thrive in the void. You were never afraid of the darkness. You were never afraid of being alone, because deep within you, you know the truth. You are never truly alone. The spirit within you, the fire that burns in your soul, is your companion. It will never leave you. It is your strength, your power, your truth. It is the one thing they could never take from you, no matter how hard they tried. They thought they could break your will by isolating you from those you loved, by severing the bonds that gave you strength. But what they didn't realize is that you are not bound by anything outside yourself. You don't rely on others to define you. You are defined by the very essence of who you are, the resilience that runs through your veins, the fire that lights your path, and the unbreakable spirit that drives you forward, no matter how dark the road may seem. They thought they could make you question your worth, make you doubt yourself, make you surrender to their twisted vision of the world. They thought they could erase your sense of identity, your understanding of who you truly are. But what they failed to understand is that you are forged from the very fire they tried to extinguish. You are the embodiment of defiance of survival, of triumph. Your power doesn't come from others. It comes from within. It comes from the very core of your being, the belief that no matter what they do, no matter how they try to break you, you will always rise again. They can try to tear you apart. They can throw every curse, every dark force they can summon against you. They can try to manipulate you, confuse you, and break your spirit. But it won't work, because you have something that they can never take from you: the unshakable knowledge that you are stronger than they will ever be. You are more than their magic, more than their curses, more than the darkness they try to impose upon you. You are a force that cannot be controlled, a power that cannot be defeated. They will try. Oh, they will try, but their attempts will always fall short. For you are not a being that can be destroyed. You are a living legend, a testament to the resilience of the human spirit. You are a force that has withstood the darkest of storms and emerged unscathed. You are a survivor, not just of the trials they put you through, but of every challenge that life has thrown your way. You are a warrior, and no sorcerer, no dark force, no curse can ever take that away from you. So let them come. Let them bring their darkness, their curses, their magic. Let them bring everything they have, for it will never be enough. They can never break you. They can never defeat you. No matter how hard they try, they will never erase the legend that is you. You are unbreakable. You are unstoppable. You are the storm that will never cease, the fire that will never burn out. And they are nothing but shadows in your wake, shadows that will fade as you rise, as you continue your journey to greatness. Let them try. Let them do their worst. They will never, ever break you. In the end, they failed, and you stand as the living proof of their defeat. They sought to break you, to erase you, but all they did was forge the legend of your survival. You are a force they could never control, a power they could never extinguish. You are unbreakable, unstoppable, and eternal. They tried to destroy you, but in doing so, they only created a legend that will live on long after they are forgotten. Never forget, you are the storm that cannot be silenced, the fire that will never burn out.